Mukama Yeba Zibwe, my dear friends in Uganda, I hope that you like my shirt. I like it. I'm wearing it for you. I bought it for you just to indicate to you my love for my dear friends in Uganda. Now, this is part 3 of me speaking about what really matters in life. What really matters? Do you know what really matters? Are you living with what really matters and satisfies in life? Most people are not asking that question. What matters in life? They don't ask it in your society. They don't ask it in my society. It's like they're oblivious to things that really have eternal consequences and have eternal significance. Are you walking with the purpose and the destiny that God has laid out for you, my friends? That's what I want for you. And the only reason I want it for you is because He wants it for you, and He's put that in my heart for you. What really matters in life? I think what we need to do is we need to look at the greatest men and women who have ever lived and examine their lives. Now we heard in part 1 what Jesus had to say. Part 2 we learned what David had to say. Now we're going to look at what the Apostle Paul had to say. I don't know if there was any human being that achieved the level of greatness that the Apostle Paul achieved. And he could say this in Philippians chapter 1 and verse 21. Verses 21 through 24, I don't know if I'll get through all of them. But he said this, "For to me to live is Christ." Can you say that? How many of you can say that? You may be a pastor, but can you say, "For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain"? Paul understood the importance of now and the importance of eternity. For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. Can you say that, my friend? I can say that. But I'm not special. It's by the grace of God that I can say that. It's because I've surrendered my life to Jesus. It's because I understand what is truly most important in life. Paul goes on in verse 22 and he says, "But if I am to live on in the flesh, this will mean fruitful labor for me." Paul was a man of purpose and destiny. He knew what God called him for. "And I do not know which to choose, but I am hard pressed from both directions, having the desire to depart and be with Christ, for that is very much better. Yet to remain on in the flesh is more necessary for your sake." Paul was in the prison when he wrote this letter to the church in Philippi, and he wasn't certain whether he was going to live or die. His life was hanging in the balance. And Paul knew that the second that he died, elsewhere he says, absent from the body, present with the Lord. Here he says to depart and be with Christ. In a short while, I'm going to depart from here, from home, and I'm going somewhere else. But I'm still in existence, same existence. I'm just moving locations. That's what he was talking about here. Moving from one location to another, from earth to heaven, if that's what would happen. But he was willing to forego the better for what God called him to, and that was to reach people. And that's what I'm doing with you right now. But you have a decision, my friend. What is most important in your life? It's what you give yourself to. It's what you think about. It's what you do that is the most important thing to you. Do you have idols in your life? Any idol is something that you put before God. I'm sure many of you are convicted of that right now, but you can be delivered from idolatry and walk in the center of God's will. Just ask Him. Say, "Lord Jesus, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is my purpose. This is my destiny. I surrender it all to you." And my prayer for you is if you prayed that prayer, that God's presence and power would come upon you and enable you to do that for the rest of your life.